Hey, good morning, Voodoo.
What's up? What's
Dude,
up? How are
dude,
you?
I'm good. Yesterday was an exciting one, I think, for Potluck Labs. Whole bunch of announcements.
Oh my
It's got
gosh,
it's
dude.
got me FOMOing our own shit. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of work. Mondays are like our big brain day where we kind of reassess what happened the previous or assess what happened the previous week, reassess what we need to do in the future. And I think yesterday, between the Platinum Pass Alpha, which we'll talk about later, the Potluck Pigs, kind of the new roadmap, I can't talk, new roadmap that we have there, and and how I think that's going to raise the floors and create a lot of excitement. The Labs token is going to be going live this week, so dropping the Medium article on that. I mean, I was busy. It was a busy day, so man, I'm super excited. But then I'm even more excited for the mint we have this Friday with Jack Shure, Dead Family. So I know you're really excited about this. I mean, we got to talk with him and his buddy Chris Dyer, which was like probably one of those moments where you were starstruck, one of the
Yeah,
few moments in NFT world. Um, so yeah, man, what are your thoughts before we bring Jack up here?
yeah. I mean, well, I'm super excited about everything that we kind of went through yesterday and announced. We'll be talking about that later. But yeah, this Friday is a big one. This one's a big one for me. Just being in this space because it's these little moments where you're like, it's the convictions are coming to life where you're like, oh, we got an incredible artist who is not from this crypto industry at all,
Yeah,
who is recognizing this space as a massive opportunity, coming to us to help launch a project. Like, it's starting to get a little bit weird, to be honest. But it's that beautiful moment where, yeah, you start to have those convictions that you're like, okay, yeah, people are coming into this space.
yeah, and I'm excited. He was, was talking with Jack yesterday about his fans, like his in real life art fans. Who are interested in minting and like getting his art on his first NFTs. But most of them are in the States. And I was like, man, let's just wait till AVAX or Matic because it's going to be too
Yeah, yeah.
confusing. We'll just get them on one of the easy chains. So I'm excited to bring in some more people into the Potluck family. But hey, let's not take any more time because we're going to bring Jack on, talk with him for a bit, and then he's going to paint live. I thought it was going to be like a massive canvas, but he's painting on a little baby canvas today, and so extreme detail. How you doing, Jack?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
We're good, man. Doing awesome.
Yeah, doing
So
awesome.
tell us, first off, tell us about the painting that you're going to be painting later on today.
It's a piece for a show that I have coming up in Amsterdam, and the whole show is kind of like reflects on my journey into becoming a father. And so
Oh,
this one is sort of about like cutting old ties that don't serve me in my current life, I guess.
Dang, that's deep,
yeah,
man. That's awesome. Just casually, like a show I have in Amsterdam, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I want to get into that. So, how often are you doing gallery shows?
Pretty much like well, the way it works is like if it's a solo show, they usually are planned out a year or like 6 months to a year in advance. So like my life as a painter, everything moves really slow, if you could say. Like um sometimes like if it's booked out for a year, then all my focus is going towards that one show for the whole year, and I'm not even touching anything else. And in a lot of cases, I'm not even supposed to share the new art I'm working on because they want it all to be fresh and new for the opening.
Mm, mm.
So you two two generally, if I'm doing solos, but if I'm doing group shows, those are usually booked out like 3, 4, 5 months in advance. So, you
so
know,
what you're saying is it's not like a Potluck Labs mint where we drop it on Monday that it's happening on Friday?
Not, not at all. It's kind of like molasses, and even with the more established galleries, you're kind of having to plan out 2 years in advance sometimes, because they have these programs and schedules that just go so far into the future. So a lot of the time you're kind of thinking 2 years or sometimes even 3 years in the future.
Oh, this just seems ancient.
Yeah, it's really primitive, like in certain ways. Like I always say that to people, like my the way I work, it's like it's kind of old as time. I mean, it goes back to like cave paintings in a way. I'm using earth pigments and animal fur to make my art, and some of the technology has changed as far as like technique and materials, but in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of the same thing it's been for a very long time.
Yeah, that's super interesting, actually. So let's get into this whole new wave. We're about to launch your first NFT project on Friday. 777 pieces coming to Phantom. How many of the one of one legendaries do you have in this collection?
So I think we're gonna do 7 on each platform, so it kind of fits the 777 theme. And Voodoo kind of had a cool idea yesterday of throwing a couple of my like painting files in there, because then some people will end up with like some of my traditional art as well.
Oh,
And
that's
Yeah, I'm super excited about that since it was my idea and we're giving credit. It was a wonderful idea by the team. Um, and I'm excited that for this first 101, we're doing, the zombie with the dead head shirt, because obviously this is the dead family, and that's where you draw a lot of your artistic inspiration and kind of a lot of your story as an artist. And so, why don't you share that? I know we did another YouTube show, but just assuming that the people watching today, this is their first time kind of getting introduced to you. Kind of go with the inspiration, and what being a deadhead meant to you, and what the dead family is all about, and kind of just how does that all connect?
so when I was younger, I had a couple friends that were into the dead, and at that point, I wasn't. I kind of thought it was weird because I grew up in a town in the mountains where the Grateful Dead was super popular, and there would always be these kids like coming through town that just looked so rough and like lost, and they'd be like, "Jerry, what?" And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I had a friend, two friends, that one of which I knew had known since like I think third or second grade, and in high school he was like, "Let's go to San Francisco and watch Rat Dog," which is Bob Weir, and he came through. You're good. And he came through and was like, "You should come to San Francisco with us. We're going to watch Rat Dog in Golden Gate Park." And I was like, "Okay, sounds fun." And so we drove there, and the show was free. And as soon as I pulled up, there was just like tons of kids my age, and they were all selling their art, and like they're all pursuing these different creative endeavors. And there was kids with jewelry and kids with drawings and kids with paintings and kids with posters, and everyone was high on acid too. And that was really cool because that was like you know the beginning of me experimenting with entheogens. And so that was
Wait,
also
wait,
like,
wait, Jack. So you're saying it was a bunch of teens on acid? Bunch of
yeah,
teens on acid
Yeah.
was
yeah.
one of our featured artists. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And then we actually have listening right now. We have another great I call him a psychedelic artist, kind of like yourself, but we have another great artist in the NFT world whose collection is called Entheogen. His name's Bush
Yeah.
Doctor, and he's
Oh,
in Europe. And he said when you come to
I actually talked to him.
Amsterdam,
He's a nice dude.
oh yeah, he's the
Mhm.
best. He's the best. So, anyways, continue with your teens on acid story. So,
So yeah, all these kids were high on psychedelics, and they were all sharing their art, and it just felt real. I just felt like this immediate sense of like, uh, for lack of a better term, I'll call it like home. It felt like home
Mhm.
because like in high school, I kind of felt like a black sheep. I was like, not many people were into the stuff I was into. And so being there, it like really opened my eyes to this whole other world. And from there, I was like hooked. I was like, wow, this is like a whole nother world. And seeing all these people be able to support themselves off of, their creative spirit was just so inspiring to me. And from there, I like went home and just started working on all this like new artwork. And um that next summer I just hit the road, and I kind of stayed, doing that for the next decade. And I met all my closest friends that way, and like just all these amazing connections from people all over the country and all over the world too. And I had this dream to do official artwork for the band. And
Mhm.
I met this guy who actually still does, but at the time was screen printing all the posters for the band. And I had him print a super complex poster. Essentially, I had created this artwork, and I was like searching for months to find someone that had the capability to print it. And
Mhm.
everyone that I contacted was like, this is way too complex. I don't know what you're thinking. Like, I don't think anyone can print this. And I was like, there's got to be someone, because I had seen these super complex posters. And so I went to this local poster shop, and I asked the guy that was working there, I showed him the artwork and I said, who could print this? And he was like, actually, the guy who can print this lives in Boulder. And I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy. So we called the guy, me and my friend, and we went over to his shop, and we showed him the artwork. And I said, could you print this? And he's like, absolutely. And I was like, oh, wow, that's such a relief. And so he printed the poster for me, and it was after he had finished. Of course, I was back out on the road doing my thing, and he had one of them sitting in a pile. And one of the merch directors for the band came in to pick up some of the posters for the next show. And his just by chance, he glanced at my poster that was sitting in one of the piles, and he said, who made that? And my friend Ray goes, oh, that's this kid Jack. He's a local, and he's like really motivated. And the guy said, well, you should have him make some artwork for us. And so my friend Ray, who is the printer, hit me up and was like, dude, this is like a big moment. I think, these guys want to use you. And I was like, holy fuck, are you serious? And immediately when he told me that, I was actually at a show when he told me that. And immediately, like, I started having all these crazy ideas, flash in my mind. And the first one that I had was this like pharaoh type image, which
Mhm.
is really similar to the one that I'm kind of using for the NFT collection. And so immediately went to work like that week on drafting this pharaoh. And so I was like pretty much finished with it, and I brought it to the printer and I said, "What do you think of this?" And he's like, "Wow, this is awesome." And so I soon after submitted it to the band. And at this time, um, the the person who got the final say was Phil Lesh's wife, who's the bass player for the band. And she got back to us pretty quickly and said that she was trying to move away from skulls, which
Oh.
was kind of stupid because it's the Grateful Dead. And so, I was kind of confused by that. I was like, what the fuck do you want then? And she's like, we're looking for more of like a family friendly uh, image.
That's what the
And
Dead's about.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So she kind like, I don't know how to say this in a way that sounds essentially. I kind of got beat into this little box, and the art that ended up being printed was like, I'm really not proud of. Like, it's fucking not, I don't know. It's not something that I ever show people, and I'm like, oh, look what I did. But
But you
that
were
first
working for
image,
the Dead.
yes, but by the time that the image got printed, I was like completely unsatisfied. Like, it wasn't the way that I thought it was gonna be. Like, it was honestly kind of in the like, it felt disappointing because I was like, I'm like, this isn't the way that I wanted this to go. And so I ended up taking that first image that I made and I printed it myself. And it became like really popular in among the scene. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise because, at the time, the band was only paying like $500 for an image once it got approved. And because they didn't approve that image, it ended up being mine. And I ended up, it like, yeah, and I made that paid my way for years. Like, I probably made more off that image than any piece of art that I ever made.
Right.
And it got me
But
connected with a lot of cool
it's
people.
funny how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't mean to interrupt, but it's funny how the universe works like that, like, I hope that you're not at the end of this, NFT project and thinking that it's not the way you wanted it, since you have
No,
100%
not at
artistic
all.
freedom.
No, because the problem, not at all. I'm really happy with it. And the reason why I felt that way is because I didn't have any like, you guys trust my like creative, image or vision, and they really wanted me to do something that was their vision. And in the end, like, their vision to me was pretty corny and fucking cheesy. But for the fans and the people that were my peers, like, that image changed my life. Like, it fucking did so much for me. It's hard to even like, it's crazy. Like, even uh Neil Buster Bennett, I met him because of that image. And that's
Right.
how I got here right now, was because of
Right.
him. So that's just another thing that image created for me. And years down the road, um, the Dead played in my hometown of Boulder at Folsom Field at the college. And the guy that was doing the visuals put that image fucking 100 feet tall behind the band while they were playing. And none of that would have happened if it didn't get turned down. So
That's epic. That is
That
epic.
is a crazy story.
yeah, and it was really funny because at the show, of course, I had taken some acid, and I thought I had seen my image out of the corner of my eye, and I like look at my friend, and I'm like, man, this is gonna sound crazy, but I think I just saw the Pharaoh on stage behind the band, and He looks at me and he's like, I don't know. I don't think it was. And I walked out of the show and all my friends came running up to me. They're like, dude, oh my God, what the fuck, dude? And I was like, what? And they're like, you didn't see it? Like, your fucking Pharaoh was like 100 feet tall behind the band. And I was like, oh, it really was there. What the fuck?
Crazy. Wow,
So
what a moment.
thinking about this, you know, and how before we start to let you paint, it really is just crazy how everything works, you know, how that one seeming defeat of like you were so close to getting like the dream gig to make the art for the band and do that, to then that being a disappointment. But Napoleon Hill, an author and from back in like the 20s, he says that basically every obstacle or every negative thing carries with it the seed of an equivalent benefit. So if you can
Mm,
see it,
mm.
there's always a benefit. And you know, it's crazy to see all the good things that have happened in your life because you didn't quit and because you went with your passion and things. And I hope that that after this, just the first of the 3 mints here on Friday, that your story will be at a whole new level as far as how
Sure.
life changing and positively life changing that moment was when you ended up not having your art with the band.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say because it's gonna be some life changing stuff on Friday, so
Yeah,
pretty
I feel
excited.
that, man. And like this, the reason why I kind of like brought that image of the Pharaoh back into this is because it's kind of just like uh paying tribute to that like magic, serendipitous interconnectedness that brought me here and through Neil and all of that. And it's funny, I would say they did pick that image, a different image, and like I said, I'm not proud of it at all. And it's funny, I thought that that would be that life changing experience, like you just said,
Mhm.
but me just making the image to sell in the parking lot was actually the life changing moment.
It's speaking of some life changing art, because my maturity level is low, and also because I want you to see this. So I have a one of my grandmas is like the night. I mean, both my grandmas are really nice and sweet, but she's like the most innocent, like grandma in the world. Very spiritual, very very religious. She bought me. She loves penguins, and she thinks I love penguins. She's one of those grandparents that there's like 30 grandkids, and so each grandkid has like an assigned animal that's like their favorite. So you get stuffed animals, and then as you get older, you get like trinkets and mugs and stuff. So at Christmas, I got this mug. I'm gonna hold it up, and I want you to look at what the penguins are doing because I think this may be the level of art we need to go from here. So let's just look at some of these things that are going on.
Oh,
I don't know if you
nice.
see those penguins at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it a
Um,
penguin orgy? Is that what I'm seeing?
That
and
looks
so
like it.
100%. Oh, here's a good one. Well, you be the judge. You be the judge.
I think that's a penguin orgy.
Yeah, it's a penguin orgy, and it's by far my favorite mug. Um, and my poor grandma, she didn't know why I was so excited about that gift.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you sure she didn't know and she just has a sense of humor?
No, she definitely does not have that sense of humor. I have
That
it.
makes
She
it even
doesn't.
better.
That did not come
Uh,
from her side of the family at all. Okay, so anyways, sorry about that. I
No,
want to see
don't
you.
be.
I want to see you do some art. I mean, obviously, for everyone listening and getting to hear, you know, your story, I think it's awesome to be able to get a piece of um, your first NFT collection. I mean, Jack, you can check him out on Instagram. He's got like 18,000 followers or something on there that follow his art. Um, he's got a one of one piece coming out. We hope to debut it. We're not going to, it's not in this mint. We're actually going to do an auction style at the AVAX mint party for it, which I'm super excited. But he has a one of one piece, which is half his and half Chris Dyer from Galactic Gang artist. And we will be debuting that. Hopefully, Chris is hoping to have it wrapped up in time for the mint party so we can display it, show it off. But that will be the first one of one piece, like in a separate collection. Also, the first Chris Dyer work on Phantom. Galactic Gang's just been a massive success on Ethereum, and they're good. Jack and Chris are good buddies. And so if you haven't seen their episode of NFT Alpha with us, you can learn a lot more about Jack. But once again, the mint is going to be, we'll talk about this more at the end of the show, but it's going to be Friday, 9 p.m. UTC. Give our Australian friends a little more sleep. And yeah, 35 Phantom for 777. So it's just like AstroKid. It's split over 3 chains. So the total supply will be that times 3. But it'll be on Phantom, then AVAX, then Matic. And yeah, super excited. We decided to do a lower supply on each chain at a little bit higher price. So if you think about AstroKid, is basically about the same amount of total Phantom, where you had 20 Phantom for 11.11. But what we wanted to see is if the price was a little bit higher, maybe the floor would be a little bit stronger, as far as the fact that maybe people won't buy 20 and then try to flip 10 or 15, and it'll hopefully spread it out a little bit more, help with the long-term value of it. So we're really excited. We plan on doing that for a lot of our collections going forward. Just even make it a little bit more exclusive to own a Potluck Labs project. So anything else that you wanted to, before we'll bring Jack back up before the end, but anything else you want to say now, Tin, or should we just watch him paint?
No, I'm ready to watch him paint, to be honest.
Okay, Jack, it's time for you to get to work. So you can, if you want, you can just mute yourself while you're doing it. Yeah, aim the camera down just a little bit at it, and then perfect. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Nice.
Is
Awesome.
that blurry or does that look all right?
No, it's
No,
coming
it's
through
good.
clear.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. So
All
want
right.
to jump into our topics?
Yeah, let's do it. We
Okay.
got lots to cover, eh?
Oh my gosh, so much. So the labs token. Let me just give my synopsis of it, and then Tin, you can kind of talk on the utility aspect of it and just kind of what this means for you as a holder of lots of projects, to have the opportunity to earn the token. But essentially, Labs is our Potluck Labs utility token. We've talked about it a few times recently. Been some alpha leading up to it, but finally posted a Medium article yesterday, really just laying out the use cases as we have them right now. And what it'll be is on our Potluck Labs website, there'll be a page that's just a claim page, very simple. And you'll connect your wallet. It will read how many labs you've earned based on the Potluck Labs NFTs you hold in your wallet, and you'll be able to collect them at will. So they're not airdropped to your wallet. You don't have to stake to get them. The contract's actually it's reading what's in your wallet, and it's just going to keep crediting you labs tokens. So super excited. We'll post more in-depth stuff like once it is live, but we're hoping to be live, honestly, we're hoping today or tomorrow. But I'd say by the end of the week for sure. And what it's going to be able to be used for is it's not meant to be traded. We're not putting LP into this. It's just a utility token. It's to be used in our ecosystem. So currently we've done episodes with weaponized countries. We've done episode of an NFT Alpha episode with them, with Bobbleheads NFT, who both have 2 totally different games that both have special use cases just for Potluck Labs holders. And so super excited about that, to be able to use the Labs token in those games and for the game nights and the fun things we have planned for the community. But then also we're going to be using percentages of our secondary profits to buy NFTs to then raffle off for the community. And so we'll have some raffles of some awesome NFTs. We'll also have some NFTs just by our artists that they'll do specifically. And to buy a ticket into the raffle, you got to use your Labs tokens. We'll probably do some whitelist spots for free mints. It's just some fun things where just with everything that we can think of to make some fun utility and some community, just fun for the community and things that we can all do together. We want to just reward the people who hold the most of our tokens that aren't listed on PaintSwap or something where it takes it out of your wallet. And so I'm just excited. I think that the use cases, as we already found the 2 use cases with bobbleheads and weaponized countries, it's like once we have this, because we have such a massive community, we don't have to create our own games and our own our own really, I guess that's really it. We don't need to make the GameFi ourselves because we're not game developers. What we can do is find the best games out there, and because we have an active, thriving, growing community, we can bring success to those projects by our community being involved, and they can bring utility and added fun for our community. And so I think it's just a win-win system, and the Labs token is kind of the ticket into that system. And so, Tinfoil, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, man, I'm super excited about this labs thing. For a lot of it is we're building this big ecosystem. Within 7 weeks, we have built the largest ecosystem on Phantom. Uh, the biggest one that I know of so far is Phantoms at just over 1,800 wallets, and that's the oldest project on Phantom. So within 7 weeks, we've built the biggest, most expansive ecosystem on Phantom. Now it's time to kind of implement the token because yeah, it's all about the
Wait, dude,
community
that's
building events now.
That's just a crazy statement. I hadn't really ever internalized what you just said. I haven't like that's crazy that we
It
have
is.
more wallets, and obviously it's not one project like Phantoms. That's one project, which is awesome. But just in our ecosystem, in our family of projects that we're launching, to have right now it's over 2,100 holders. We passed 2,100, so 2,100 unique wallets. Unreal in less than 8 weeks. So anyway,
Yeah,
continue.
yeah,
It
no,
just blew me away to hear that.
yeah, it's huge. So like the biggest ecosystem now to implement a token where we can just have awesome game nights. And like you said, the idea that we do have the biggest community. So if you're a project that is building cool shit and you need users in your game, it's a great way for partnerships. We're going to get into the utility topic, but that is a utility, is just having an awesome community that is growing because it lines up great for partnerships, which bring more utility to stuff. So I'm just super excited for the Labs token. It's also it's an awesome way to reward our early supporters and our whales who have been like really supporting us. Um,
Yeah.
but there's so many cool things that we can do having a token like that.
Yeah. So I'm not going to name any names, but he's like probably the biggest NFT whale in Phantom. And he was telling me that he had 200 serums that he bought. He has 200 serums and that our website wasn't working for him. And we were looking at the coding, and the reason it wasn't working was that he like is the breaking point of he has too many serums, so the website cannot possibly load all those. So we're having to recode the website so that he can actually mutate his serums. So that's why 200 haven't been mutated right there because he
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not able to through our site. So we're having to actually have it where it's limited on how many it can load from your wallet at once, so it doesn't crash when he uses it. So speaking of whales, that dude's going to be earning some labs. Tell you that much.
Yeah.
Um, so a little alpha. I'm not going to go through too much detail, but since we have people watching, I'll just go ahead and say it. But we have worked out an incredible partnership with Scarab Finance, and so they are launching an NFT project that's going to have some staking and some unique stuff just for them. And so what they wanted to do was to partner with Potluck Labs and Potluck Protocol and offer a Scarab Fang, I think it's G Scarab and Fang, or maybe Scarab and Fang LP pool, where not only you provide LP, and then you stake, you'll be able to stake Creatures of the Cave 2. So COTC 2, this will also maybe help some people cash in some serums, but you'll be able to stake LP, and then you'll be able to multiply your interest by how many COTC 2s that you stake. So if someone stakes 10 of those, 20 of those, the one who won't be named stakes 200. I don't know what the interest, if there's a cap, but it's going to be awesome. So that's just some awesome utility. And so we're going to do that. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be a few weeks before that goes live. So that's why we're not tweeting about it and everything yet, but it's exciting if you're accumulating Creatures of the Cave 2 to know that you're going to be able to farm on the DeFi side and have a multiplier. And then if it goes well, what we're planning is each month is to pick a different project of ours. So maybe Astro Kids next, who knows, where we pick a different project to allow people to get the multiplier. So I'm excited, in addition to labs, of just some of the other utility for Fang holders and Potluck Labs NFT holders. So super
See,
exciting alpha.
this is the fun stuff, right? Like that's only the first. So again, like I think what the Byte Masons did opened up a whole new world in DeFi. I think what Scarab and this partnership is about to do, I think there's going to be a lot of protocols that kind
Yeah.
of follow that. And again, who are they going to come to? Arguably, it makes more sense to go to the biggest ecosystem, which is
Yeah.
Potluck Labs right now.
So that kind of goes right into the next topic of utility, since our timer already started. So let's talking about utility. I really wanted to hear from you on just utility use cases and kind of what you've seen utility be in the past, and now maybe some things where it's evolving and what projects are evolving into for utility. Because I'm of the mindset that one of one art, like what you see sold on tomb heads auctions and FAC and those things, my personal opinion is great one of one art doesn't need any utility because the art is its own utility. And sometimes great generative art, think the ancestral umans, doesn't need utility either because it's great art. But a lot of people, because they come from DeFi, want utility in their projects. They don't want it to just sit around, especially if the floor is shaky or something. People are like, give me more utility. So, what are some cool things you're seeing? Maybe some innovative plays, maybe some things, projects that people should be looking at if they want added utility.
So I've got a little list of basically the utilities that I've seen being used within whichever different ecosystems. So essentially, it all started with well, a DAO membership. Essentially, that's kind of where everything started. So some big ones that I would want to be a part of in the Phantom ecosystem is like Phantom Punks. Their treasury is massive, and if you own uh, two Phantom Punks, there's extra voting power and some curation aspects to that. Um, from the DAOs and treasuries, like then you get into uh, basically like a future airdrops. So it's an access to the next generations, which is something that we at Potluck like to do. Then you have the idea of like a whitelist pass. So you have to hold this NFT to get access, whitelist access, a discount on a certain mint, um, something like we've seen with what the Byte Masons just did, where now you have to have NFTs to get an allocation pre IDO in DeFi, which is crazy. Um, we're starting to see some mint passes now, which I think is super awesome. That's a fun way to you get into something early and then it kind of just guarantees that you're in the ecosystem going forward. Uh, some of the big ones for me are the metaverse plays. Like I like the metaverse avatars. That's a big one for me. There's GameFi, where it's just you're using your character to play in a game. Um, one of the utilities that I think that we just kind of added is game theory. I think like game theory collectibles, I think is a new utility that we've just added where because I'm having fun where I'm checking, what is the creatures of the cave 2 supply right now? How many creatures have been created? Okay, I'll mutate a couple serums. Oh, I'll check the serums floor. Serums floor is rising fast. All right, let's go sweep up a couple creatures because I'm gonna have to burn 5 later to get a build your own. And these collection sizes are gonna fucking cater. So to me, I think that's its own kind of GameFi utility. Uh, Another utility is well, like we talked about, community. The community itself is a massive utility because now you get partnerships that are tapping in. I know we've got a lot of great shout outs from some of the AVAX communities that we've partnered with, where I see the flamingos, for instance. Somebody on the flamingo who's an AVAX collector of a flamingo was like, wow, it pays to be a flamingo holder. Like I got a free potluck rat for holding my flamingo, and then I got an orc off of that rat. So the partnerships aspect I think is huge. We've got that partnership with the Frat House Club coming up. Um, what else did I have here? And then, well, now staking for token. The idea that you can stake for a token, and that token can be used within an ecosystem. Some have gone the LP route, where like a miniverse, like the mini chillas and stuff, where they're a tomb fork. So you're doing DeFi with NFTs.
No, that's incorrect. They are a tomb sport. They said
Oh,
they're a tomb
okay, right,
spork. They
right.
don't want to
Nice.
be. They don't want to be shut down by Harry. So they have
Right, right.
identified, because we can all self-identify as whatever we want. They're a spork. So
But yeah, so I think I mean there's so many different utilities that I mean, we have all of them. That's the kind of the fun thing is when I go through this list uh of utilities that I've seen in the ecosystem, we have all of them in Potluck. But as you said, they're not all necessary. Uh,
yeah,
but some of them are super easy to add too. Like and some of them just naturally come up. So something like an ancestral umans, it's got 3 or 4 of these utilities. Um, just because of the massive community and what the community is kind of building into it.
yeah. I think one of the things to add on community, because it's really a sub point of how you build utility and community. I think that one of the things that like L has done super well, along with a lot of other communities, Phantom Bunch does this really well. The Shrooms do this really well.
Mhm.
Is they do free drops or they do games in their Discord, but they do things where if you're a holder, you know that there's a possibility to earn some free stuff. That just by holding it in your wallet, you could get some free drops. You could have some fun, and there's a lot of projects that do that. But that's something that even with the Rat Pack, we've adjusted, and we'll get into this later. But we adjusted the roadmap that in a way that I'm very excited about.
Mhm.
But one of the things in the meantime, while that's being created, is I said, why don't we create a special collection, kind of like Teens on Acid has done with the Astro Kids, where custom collection. And I said, why don't we just every week you can make 3, 4, 5 rats that out of the assets you already have, and then do some specialization. But let's make custom one of one rats that look awesome, and then let's do it in the Discord where we'll drop a link where people can go in, put enter for the raffle basically. So you got to be active in the community. And what we'll do is we'll give them a few hours and it just be kind of a surprise drop. And then we'll raffle off and give those away, drop them for free for people that are active in the Discord, active in the community. So, because I just realized that that's something that a lot of projects are doing well, to just add some fun and some extra value and get you involved in the community that maybe we haven't been doing yet. And so I'm really excited about that as well. So just the utility of maybe some games in Discord, but that falls under community. But some of my favorite projects, that's the utility. The utility is it's the community that then we get to hang out, we get to play games, we get to earn cool stuff together, or maybe they just do some free drops just for the community. So yeah, excited. You had a great list there. Anything else we missed, or we're good?
No, I think that basically covers everything. Yeah, there's tons
Awesome.
of different utilities that can be added.
Yeah. Bush, Bush Doctor said he basically anything can be utility. Like it's literally limited by your creative imagination. It's kind of like anything can be an NFT. Like we can do anything we want in this space.
Yeah, where do you
So
find value?
yeah, exactly. I think that's why people resonate with different projects. A lot of times it's not just the art and what that makes them feel, but it's how they resonate with the utility. Like
Right.
I know there's a lot of projects on AVAX that people don't even care at all about the art. They just like the utility. That's they're big on the DeFi utility. So
Well,
anyway,
and on that topic, some utilities are too elaborate that it turns people off. Like there's people who are just like, oh,
yeah,
that's too much for me. I just want to PFP.
yes, no, I agree. That's why I hope that everyone can feel like, man, if they own a Potluck Labs project, that they could own it and just be happy that it has an awesome PFP and and just rock that. And they don't have to be involved with anything else, but they can just be a part of the community and see other people on Twitter rocking the same PFP and just loving the art.
Mm.
But if they want more, hopefully we can give them more too. So
Yep.
awesome. Platinum Pass. So let's talk about this, man. I know you're freaking fired up.
I've been
You're
stacking up my Mega Boo passes. And
oh,
now the idea that we're dropping our own and then that whole
yes.
partnership, oh boy.
So I always get the acronym wrong because it's like 15 letters, but it's like the
Yeah.
Phantom Frat House Zombie Society of People.
Yeah. Phantom Haunted Frat House Club.
Okay, much easier than what I had. So I've talked a lot with kind of, I don't know if he's the lead because there's a team of them, but with Zombie who runs their Twitter and everything. And we had a great voice chat yesterday. Was super excited, but we've been talking for a little bit, like since they came on the scene. And I realized that, man, this team has great art. They have great devs. They have a great vision. They're thinking long term. They're doing it right.
Yeah.
I've just been impressed with everything they're doing. And then they came out with their Boo Mint passes, which was a cool gamified way to allow people to have out of a collection of 1111 with 10 different NFTs. So there's about 100 or so of 10 different ones that if you collect all 10, you have the whole set. You can cash that in. I think that March 1st is when people can do that, but you can basically cash it in for a Mega Boo. And that Mega Boo will give you access above what the Mint Pass does. So it gives you like first priority access to things. And I think some profit sharing on that project on the secondary sales. But so I went to them and I said, why don't we do something that's awesome for our community and awesome for your community and bridges them together and builds the excitement even more. And so what we decided to do was I was introduced by Master Zug Zug to an awesome artist, Phyrexis from Tezos. And incredible 3D art. If you haven't seen it, I posted it on Twitter, just the preview of one of the cards that we're going to be doing. But we're basically doing the same type of thing, except a little different. I think that the rewards we've come up with are crazy good because it's not just like a mint pass is just a whitelist pass. It's just like, hey, you're on the whitelist, so you'll be able to mint before public. What we're doing for people that collect all 10 and burn those to create a platinum pass is the platinum pass holders get free Potluck Labs mints for life, as long as you own it. Okay, so I don't know what that's worth on secondary, but just to give you guys a heads up, we have 10 mints in March across 3 chains. That means just by owning that platinum pass, just in 1 month, you're getting 10 free mints across 3 different chains. You have a couple of those who do what Astro Kid did, what Creature of the Cave did with the floor, and you're going to make some incredible money. But then not only that, you're going to get free frat house mints. And then their Mega Boo holders are going to get free potluck mints as well. So it's crossing the community. So, and they're planning on doing, I talked with them about 1 mint a month and bringing in artists. They're talking with artists from DreamWorks, from Pixar, some crazy talented artists. So the value, what is that value? So I don't know. I'm just thinking, you're looking at probably 8 to 10 mints a month, maybe more sometimes. For life. So if you're sitting there and you're saying, well, I just don't know if I could afford all 10, like I don't know how many I'd have to mint or how to get in secondary. If you look at how the Boo passes went, just mint as many as you can, and then you can sell those on secondary at a premium to the people who want to pay the premium to collect it. So I think it's just going to be huge for our community. We're purposely not giving any more information as far as price, the date of the drop, all these things. It's going to be affordable. It's going to be exciting. But we're going to do a stealth mint where we literally just announce it that, hey, the mint site is live. We'll announce it in our Discord and we'll announce it a few minutes later on Twitter and just let people go at it. And so excited to see what happens. So, man, what are your thoughts there? And I think this is going to be kind of revolutionary in the space as far as the value of what that NFT can be.
Yeah.
But also the art of each one is just crazy. So even if you just want to mint them for I guess I'll add, they're all achievements. So they're achievements from Potluck Labs, achievements from Phantom, achievements from Fang and the Potluck Protocol. And so they're like milestone achievement cards. So I think it's really cool because it's like, man, I was there. So I'm going to leak later today the Astro Kid achievement card. And so really excited about that. So I think collectors of all those collections individually are going to want the card that goes with their
Mhm,
collection. So, and maybe they want multiple because they want a pass, but then they also want to hold these separately.
mhm.
So once again, game theory is
Yeah.
going to be exciting. So we can take a few more minutes on this, but what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. Yeah, one, I'm just unbelievably excited about what we're doing. Yeah, it was very much taking inspiration from the Phantom Haunted Frat, Phantom Haunted Frat Club, Phantom Haunted House Frat Club. Taking inspiration from them and going like, oh, like how could we could do something like that and just pack value in. Because we know our schedule, we know what we plan to do. The idea that there's 10 mints coming out this month, like te that's crazy. The idea you're gonna get 10 just for having this. Um, so I'm super excited, and then just the partnership with that team, like, I've been stacking my own mega boost because I'm super bullish on that team. I've been talking about that team since they first came into the space. Uh, they came in asking all the right questions. I could tell that they had been in the Phantom ecosystem for quite a while watching, and now it was, "All right, we wanna build." We had a great conversation. Anyways, there's also some I have intrigue behind that team because there is an unbelievable amount of talent, and I know there's some hints at, I think there's some guys that work for some big ass companies. So when you bring up, Disney and Pixar and stuff like that, uh, there is an aspect to, I think there's some team members that work for massive companies who are like, "I just need to get my creative juices out in a way that I want to, not for these companies." So, yeah, I'm super bullish on that team to say the least.
Man, yeah, I'm excited. I was worried during the middle. I kind of lost concentration because Jack disappeared for so long. I thought he died. And I was like, man, we lost an artist live, but that'll actually help the value of his generatives
You're right.
because art always goes up in value after the passing of the artist. And so, Jack, we are excited to see you're still alive, even though the secondary value would have gone up. But surprise is giving me a thumbs up and not a different finger. Okay. So awesome seeing, like, obviously we'll try to zoom in at the end here and see. But it's fascinating the pressure of painting, especially when it's for a show. This is something that is like something that's planned for 2 years ahead.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like NFT work on where they can just, undo. They can undo the last strokes. Like it's tough to do that on painting. So it's super fascinating to watch this. So
The
I
detail
honestly
is
I can't.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't really concentrate when I'm watching, so I'm just going to look away. Okay, so roadmap changes. All right. So first off, let's talk about because it's a simpler roadmap change for the Rat Pack. What we decided to do is we wanted to have a next gen of it that people were excited about, and and just something that would spark more interest, maybe be more marketable. And so going along with the barn theme, we had the potluck pigs in the barn. They got, they got taken by the strange ones. So then the rats moved into the barns, and they're just nice, cuddly, friendly rats. And then we said that next they're going to become the Rat Pack Mafia, like they're going to be, mafia type characters. Well, how does that happen? Well, I think they had to harden themselves up. They had to get tough because of the barnyard cats. All right, so the barnyard cats are moving in, and I'm really excited to see. We don't have previews on the art yet. We just conceptualized it, and excited about seeing some 3D cats. We have the cute, cuddly, nice 2D cats for the acid cats coming, and I just saw the first previews of those last night from teens. Super excited about that. Alpha drop. Take a
Alpha
drink of coffee.
drink.
No Baileys in it, just coffee. Um, so yeah, so we got the cats, and then after that, we'll have a smaller mint of the mafia, or not smaller. They'll both be seven. I think we'll do 750 on 2 chains. So there'll be 750 on Phantom, 750 on AVAX, and then once again, we've got some utility added after those two, but that's it. We're not skipping right to the Mafia. We want to create the cats, create a storyline there, and then we'll have something special if you own all three. Something special
Mhm.
if you own all three. So if you own a rat, a cat, the Mafia, we'll do something really awesome that we'll release soon as we get closer to that phase two. So that's the Rat Pack. Thoughts on that? I know you were excited about the cats.
Yeah,
Um,
the whole cats idea, yeah, just the idea of hardened cats. It's fun. It plays into the storyline. Yeah, we were trying to figure out like, we got to get into the mafia somehow, but how do we get there? The idea of bringing in, you know, the cats. We got these little cute cat NFTs on Phantom, but like, you know, I want some hard cats.
Yeah, I personally hate cats, and so I want to see some cats that I want to kick, and I don't want to kick the nice, cute, cuddly cats. I want to kick those nasty barn cats that you don't want around you because you're going to get fleas and they're going to bite you and scratch you. So uh, excited to see some mangy cats. Now I have no idea. They might be. Who knows what they'll look like? But I'm excited about them. Then we got potluck pigs. So I posted a long post about this that is in our Discord, and it is a very is an eloquent post compared to this. Like I'm not as prepared. I really spent some time drafting that, but essentially we had a very unfortunate disagreement at the last minute with the artist of what was going to be our Gen 2 for the pigs, which were the bats, not our creature of the cave that looked kind of like a bat, but the bat heads. So we had a disagreement over, over compensation at the last minute, and we weren't willing to renegotiate. And so we said, hey, you can take that project and you can launch it on your own. So that's, I think, what they're going to do. And, more power to them. Excited for them. They did the work. Hopefully it will be a success for them. But for us, we said, well, how do we pivot, and still provide value? Because, yes, now we don't want to just hire another person to do the bats. We wanted to integrate our current storyline. So if you think about it very simply, we had the potluck pigs. They got essentially Gen 2, they got stolen by the strange ones, the aliens, and then they're going to return. And I've posted a lot of pictures of these, but they're mutated. They're different. So we're going to have the strange pigs will be next. So super excited for the strange pigs. We will split that over because we're going to launch strange ones on AVAX as well. So we're going to split that mint between Phantom and AVAX. And then what's going to be awesome is you're going to have the ability to burn each one of each. So if you have a pig, you were airdropped a strange one. So they should have that. So you'll have to mint these mutated pigs, the strange pigs, and then you'll have you'll have all three. If you burn one from each collection, you'll be able to create a strange god. So that'll be after, a few weeks or a month or so after. The next gen will be the strange gods. So think of it as like a sacrifice.
Yep.
So you'll sacrifice these to and get a god essentially. And so really excited about those NFTs. But we're doing some really awesome game theory with this because there's going to be a supply of 500 of the gods, just 500. And so your options will be this: you can mint a god for 150 Phantom, or you can sweep the floor if you want, or use your own and buy a strange one, a mutated pig, and a pig, and sacrifice those three, burn three to get the god. So what it does is it basically forces a floor to rise. So what I'm hoping is that nobody mints one. All they're doing is buying up the floor, causing the floors of those projects to rise above 50 Phantom each. Because until the average is 50 Phantom for the floor of each of those projects, then it would not be advantageous for you to just pay to mint. So what could happen is people literally buy the floors, keep moving the floor price up, and they burn up to 500 from each of those three collections. So there's 1,080 of the first two, and I think there'll probably be 1,080 of the mutated pigs too on Phantom. So those collections could all go down to 580. So you may want to start stacking. And already last night, just from posting about this, the
Yeah.
floors of each of them went up quite a bit. Somebody bought 10 pigs at once Strange Ones, the floor went up about 10 Phantom, which is a 50% increase.
Well, because
Um,
there's so much going on because you got to sweep floors because you need to be stacking labs tokens, but then this stuff is going to be getting all burned down. Uh, yeah, there's so much game theory throughout our whole ecosystem right now. It's insane. Uh,
100%. Somebody just asked, Poison Elf asked, how many will be set aside for mint versus burn? There is no, so there's 500 total. So however many get burnt, if people burn 400 and people have minted 100, well then it ends because it ends at 500. So however the game theory plays out, but I'm just excited for the people who are holding now to watch their value increase, and then I mean that's our whole goal is how can we make future gens awesome, exciting art that people want to jump in and be a part of, while also helping all the previous generation, the holders, see their value rise. So I think this is going to be a novel, really awesome way to do it. So I'm excited about that going forward.
I love the idea that we're sacrificing them to a deity too to get a strange god. I think
Yeah,
that's
man, we
hilarious.
have some messed up ideas. So I made a joke, because it was like, hey, we're going to sacrifice to the gods, or you could just pay the gods off, just like
Yeah, yeah.
all religious history, right? You can either give them some money to make them happy, or you can kill something to make them happy. And so we'll do
Yeah,
those two options. um, and so, yeah, excited. Okay, upcoming mints, pretty simple. We talked about it. We got the Dead family. We actually just posted a link on Discord, and you guys will be so excited. For the first time ever, you can know what's coming up from Potluck Labs. So we posted all the way through March our mint calendar. And you're like, oh, that's 1 month. Yeah, well, it was like between this month, it was like 10, 12 mints. It's a lot of stuff. So spread out over, Phantom, AVAX, Matic. So once again, like don't feel pressured to buy all of our projects. All right. You don't have to. You never have to feel pressured to buy anything. We hope that they're all good investments, but we just want you to buy what you want to buy, to be a part of the storylines you want to be a part of, to buy the art you connect with. And yeah, we love the people who are apes and just buy all of our projects. That's awesome. But we also love the people who just buy one NFT from one project and become a part of the family. So
Mhm.
don't feel like, man, they're just putting out so many things. I have to buy them all. You don't have to, but we're going to continue to build great projects. And I hope that the myth that a few people seem to believe that we abandon our previous projects. I mean, I don't know how people are saying that after we just did Creature of the Cave 2. But whatever. I hope you realize that every roadmap, they're meant to build on the previous ones to add value to the previous holders. And sometimes it takes to Gen 2, Gen 3 before you can really start adding all that extra value you want to add. But yeah, so Dead Family, Friday, 9 p.m. UTC, 777, our smallest supply yet. That means that only about 1/3 of our holders alone can own one Dead Family, which is pretty crazy. And that doesn't even include all the new buyers, the people that are going to be coming over from Ethereum, people coming from different chains. We'll be doing another AMA with 2+2 to talk with them about the project. And yeah, just super excited. That's a big Ethereum project, Discord, 26,000 people that we're excited to partner with to try to bring over more buyers into the Phantom space. And obviously it's been working. It may not be as fast as people want, plus the market's down right now, which is always, kind of depressing. But at the end of the day, the ecosystem's growing. The amount of buyers in Phantom is growing. And, it's slow at first, but then the tidal wave comes. There's always that's how momentum, it starts slow and it builds gradually over time until it becomes like this just force of nature you can't stop. And so I'm excited that we're all in the trenches. Everybody watching on here, every collector on Phantom, every builder on Phantom, we're all in the trenches building the momentum slowly by slowly to the point where at some point it's just going to take over a life of its own. And if you're hodling now, you'll be rewarded when the sellers come, or the buyers come. I'm sorry.
Dude, I didn't think I'd see Phantom at $1.55 again. This is discounted right now. I think
I
we're gonna go.
know.
I think we're gonna go through a massive NFT season because I think what's about to happen is, I mean, not financial advice, my opinion purely, but I think I think everything's gonna about to go for another run. Like ETH's about to go for another run, and whenever ETH goes for a crazy run, NFT season moves to the other chains. So I think we're gonna have an awesome run in Phantom NFTs, especially with now DeFi platforms starting to tap into these communities.
Oh yeah. And I think, once Aave V3 is on Phantom, you got some of these other bigger protocols that are going to bring a lot of liquidity from ETH in particular. And as that comes over and the NFT scene shifts over, it's going to be crazy. And
Well,
I'm excited to be on AVAX. I'm excited to start experiencing these other chains, but everyone just reminds me of how great and
mhm,
of a user experience Phantom is.
mhm.
It's just
Well,
so good.
well, and even it's exciting that the plumbing is starting to get in place too. Our marketplaces are getting a little bit better. Uh, PaintSwap will have
Yes.
they should be having a big update coming sooner than later for this next
Yeah.
NFT run. So
No, the
once you start
competition is
bringing in
there.
these users, it's huge.
Well, it's the same thing with the NFTs in general. Like the competition, it's healthy. Like what I'm seeing is healthy competition that's raising everyone's game.
Yeah.
Um, and as new, better artists come in, th- it we have like so many great builders and so many great projects. And it's like every time I see a new artist come in that like maybe challenges same style of art as one of our current artists, and they're like, man, that challenges me to get better.
Yeah.
And so I love the fandom community because that's what I see. Like I see that in Tomb Heads when a new artist comes in that everyone's like, oh my gosh, they're fire. All the other artists with a similar style of art get way better. And it's because when you're going up against greatness, it raises, a rising tide raises
Mhm.
all boats, as long as you're in the game. And so I love healthy competition. I love seeing it's not a competition like we've got to be better, we got to beat them. It's we got to get the best out of ourselves. And I think at Potluck Labs, that's what we're trying to do every week, every project is how can we get the best out of ourselves, out of our artists, out of our community to really deliver value. Then we can't go on without talking about Astro Kid on Matic next Wednesday, 7 p.m. UTC. It's going to be 45 Matic. I'm a little bit nervous about this because this is our first trip into Matic. I've never even been on a Matic marketplace. I haven't bought an NFT there. I don't know anything. So this week I got to dive in deep. We got to do some work there. But I think it's just like everything. Like once people see teens as art, they go crazy. So I'm not too worried. I'm just really worried that I don't even know how to like get funds over there. So,
Yeah.
what's your experience on Matic? Have you minted on there, or you ever bought on,
I've
or
I've never minted. I've bought on Matic, because a lot of the GameFi stuff on Ethereum, when gas prices started getting crazy, they all had to move to
yeah,
Matic. So I've used Matic a little bit. Definitely not as great of an experience as a Phantom, but a nice user experience nonetheless. It's not horrible.
yeah, and I think it's what it is it's giving us a chance to get introduced to the Ethereum crowd because obviously people on Matic, it's not like they went from Phantom as their first experience over to Matic. It's they were on Ethereum. They wanted to buy NFTs and transact at a cheaper cost, so they bridged over to Matic because it's the layer two for Ethereum
Yeah.
essentially. So I think it's nerve wracking for us whenever you go to a new chain for the first time. Like, is anyone going to buy? Is anyone going to know about this? Like, how's it going to work? But it's also super exciting just seeing what's happened on AVAX already and the amount of buyers that's bringing to Phantom and just to our project in general. So I'm
Well,
excited,
so
and I was
just,
before you go, I was so excited that it's Astro Kid leading the charge because it's such an iconic project. Teens is such a beast, so I would not like. It's not going to be a sacrifice on the Matic altar where it's like we put a project out and it just utterly failed. Like it's going to find its way to success there. So super excited.
yeah, 100%. And I do just want to touch on the idea that we will get some practice on Matic this week with the Flamingos because they're doing their mint on Matic this week, right?
Yeah, yeah. This week, this Wednesday, they're doing their mint. Super excited. We'll be in their mint party. And really, a lot of us going to Matic. Somebody asked, why are you guys going to Matic? Okay, why do we go to any chain? The reason we go is we want to bring more users into the ecosystem. We're based out of Phantom. We want to see people get to experience art on Phantom, and we can't hope that they discover us. We got to go to them. And so with each of these ecosystems, we want to bring value to those ecosystems. Like I believe we're bringing great art and awesome roadmaps and projects to AVAX that users there haven't been getting to experience art at the same style and level as some of ours. And I know they have great projects. I'm not saying that braggadociously, but I think Phantom art is incredible. And what we offer, I believe in it. And I think the same thing. We want people on Matic to discover our project and then come over to an AVAX, come over to a Phantom, and bring more users into these ecosystems when they discover, oh my gosh, there's actually great NFT projects with an even better experience with cheap costs and fast transactions. And so at the end of the day, it's all about when we started this thing, there was about 500 to tops 1,000 active NFT wallets that really were buying into projects on Phantom. You'd occasionally have a project with more holders, but most of those are very old projects. But most were between 300 to 500 holders. And we realized everyone's just selling NFTs to each other. It's all the same people. So we were going to, through this show, through Twitter Spaces, through going into other Discords on other chains and doing AMAs, through launching projects elsewhere, we were going to do everything in our power to play our part in bringing buyers over. And now I feel safe to say that that is happening. That it is safe to say that we have 2,100 holders after just 8 weeks. It's not even been 8 weeks. The end of this week will be 8 weeks. So, that's why. That's my impassioned response to this is why we're doing it. It would be much easier to stay on Phantom, easier to stay on AVAX, but we're not going to stop at Matic. We got intentions to go over to ETH, to go to Harmony, to go to these places and bring the users over so that everybody wins. So,
yeah, I don't think people really realize that it is a step out of our comfort zone. It's not like we have Matic followings or AVAX followings, or we, know a ton about those communities. We are nobodies over there. So, but it is the fun of, it is almost the fun of being a nobody over there, but then having all of this kind of NFT knowledge and this ecosystem that we're building, and just kind of sneaking in, going, here, guys, here's the getaway. Like, come join us.
So we're way over time. I didn't even realize it. It's been a great conversation. So let's, Jack, you can unmute and let's talk with you for a second about what just happened here.
Yeah.
So I will say that watching you paint, I already said it, it's a little nerve-wracking for me. I'm like, the pressure is real. I'm feeling the pressure, but it looks amazing. Can you get the camera maybe, or put the computer right in front of it so maybe people can get a real good view? Right, that's a view of the corner. There we go. Holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's what we were painting there. Aim it down a little bit. See the bottom? That is a sick painting.
Wow, that's crazy. Speaking of sacrificing to deities.
Exactly.
Man. So welcome to fatherhood. I know you said that piece is about the changes and letting go of the old you. And I don't know. When I became a father, it didn't look like that. But maybe that's why I'm not an artist. Oh man. Dude, I'm excited. Friday's gonna be life-changing. We'll probably do a couple Twitter spaces, maybe another AMA, and start just getting more people knowing about the project. But thank you for doing your art live, having that pressure. Thanks for telling kind of some of your story to the Potluck family. And man, just super excited for you. And it's just the beginning. Just the beginning, man.
Thanks, guys.
Heck yeah. We'll talk with you later.
I'm excited to be a collector and to get rid of this. This is awesome.
Oh, it's going to go down, man. I'm setting my fannies aside.
Aping it.
I'm aping. All right. For Jack, Tinfoil, True Voodoo, Potluck Labs out. We'll see you on NFT Alpha next week.
Thanks, guys.